One objection we hear quite a bit from atheists and non-believers is this idea that if you're going to say Jesus rose from the dead, that's an extraordinary claim. It requires extraordinary evidence. Can you respond to that, please?
Yeah, that sounds, doesn't it, so commonsensical, so right. And yet, Frank, it is demonstrably mistaken. Probability theorists from the time of Condorcet in the 18th century until the time of John Stuart Mill really struggled with the question of how much evidence it takes to establish highly improbable events. What they discovered was that if you require the evidence to be more probable than the event, then you would be led to deny the reality of many highly improbable events, like say a lightning strike at a particular place, even though you have abundant evidence that that event is real. Something has gone wrong here. Well, what we found out was that in the probability calculus, there was a factor that was being neglected by those who say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And you have to consider not only what is the probability of the event itself on our background information, but there's another probability you have to consider. You have to consider what is the probability of the evidence given the hypothesis compared to the probability of the evidence given that the hypothesis is false. So if the event, the extraordinary event, had not taken place, what's the probability that we would have the evidence that we do? And what they discovered is that that probability, which is called the likelihood, that's the technical name for it, the likelihood of the hypothesis, that is the probability of the evidence given the hypothesis. That likelihood can outweigh easily any intrinsic probability of the event itself on the background information. So it is just demonstrably mistaken that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.